Hi friends, my name is Gabby and welcome to my channel if we haven't met yet. And today I wanted to talk about judgment. More specifically, judging other people and why it's so addictive. You want it or not, judgment has sort of become ingrained in our society, especially with social media. We love talking about other people and judging other people, what they're doing with their lives, what decisions they're making, what they look like, and we love asserting ourselves and saying that we are right and proving why they are wrong. I wanted to talk about judgment and judging other people specifically because I picked up a book that I've actually had for 4 years now, and it's called Judgement Detox by Gabby Bernstein. Ironically enough, I've had this book for 4 years. I went to an event to see Gabby for the launch of this book, and since then I've picked it up I think 4 or 5 times, and every single time I didn't manage to go past the first 30 pages. I guess that's something for me to look inward and investigate, why I pick up a book about judgment 5 times and continuously fail to finish it. I shall look into that myself. I have seen a lot of judgment lately, and throughout the years I have also found myself in these judgment cycles in a way. And reading the first couple of chapters of this book also made me delve deeper into where my own judgment comes from and where that judgment goes essentially. Where is it that I'm projecting the judgment? To give you an example, in my late teens, so like 18, 19, I found myself judging women that were very feminine and very soft and very just like gentle. I can't put it into words why, but I remember very specifically, especially some of the girls that I knew who would always wear dresses and like be very, very soft and like always wear heels. It's just like the embodiment of like this femininity. I used to get so triggered and I used to judge them internally, like, oh my god, look at them, like, you know, so girly, like only wearing heels and like all like petite and soft. It used to trigger me so much. Now, nothing against them. I never explicitly went and judged somebody and said, why are you being so feminine? And doesn't make any sense. Throughout the years that I've been kind of investigating this judgment and learning more, I guess, about myself, and funnily enough, my judgment started to turn into admiration. Now, in the last year specifically, I've been looking at very feminine women and I've been thinking to myself, oh my goodness, I love how elegant and soft they are, and how can I tap more into my femininity? Which brings me to the conclusion that the reason I used to have such judgment towards feminine women is because I've always felt more comfortable in my masculine. Meaning, masculine energy is very organized, it's very strict, it's very like harsh. And I've also been a tomboy growing up, so I was skateboarding with all the boys and just like wearing baggy jeans, and in my clothing I was also more like a boy in a way. So that's kind of the energy that I felt most comfortable with. But in the last year I've really been wanting to tap more into my feminine. And I think because I am appreciating it much more and I'm wanting to tap into it more, I've been looking at the same women that I've looked at before, and there's no judgment. It's more of like this awe and admiration. So I hope this example illustrates to you that when we judge something very harshly, it means it's either a wound that touches us, right? It's like a pain point that we're trying to cover up and we deflect it by judging others, or it is something that is not integrated within us. So I used to see femininity and being soft and like elegant as a threat because I was so confined in like my rigid masculine, so to say. And right now that is shifting, and hence why I am not being judgmental anymore towards very feminine women. So it's very interesting. I also heard another story of Dr. Nicole Lapera, who's the holistic psychologist. She's incredible, her work is incredible. And she mentioned in her book, How to Do the Work, that growing up and really through a lot of her life, she used to judge dancers. Like if she would see somebody dancing, whether it was in real life or, you know, on an Instagram video, she would start this inner monologue of like, oh my God, who do they think they are? Like, why are they doing this nonsense? And like really harsh judgment towards people that were expressing themselves freely through dance. And only years later, she realized that the reason she was doing that is because she always felt so constricted in her own body and kind of envied the way people were able to express themselves so freely through dance. And finally, part of her work became, well, part of her healing work became to allow herself to dance. So she started, you know, expressing herself. She would put on music and like dance away. So by taking these two examples, I wanted to illustrate that the reason it feels so good to judge other people and the reason why it can become so addictive is because we get to place our focus completely off ourselves and point fingers and condemn others for something that is really a wound for ourselves. Hence an example with the dancing and the feminine. Honestly, it is so interesting and it blows my mind every single time the lengths that our ego and our psyche will go to just not look inward and make us work on our own shit. Crazy the things that our mind will do. With most of my videos, I don't have a solution. This is not me trying to figure out how it can change, how to release judgment, even though I have a perfect book for that, which I promise this time I'm going to read. But I just wanted to bring up the subject because I find it so fascinating. Judging other people. It is so easy. It feels so good. It can be so addictive. But at the end of the day, I mean, really the reason it feels so good is because we get to feel right. We get to not look at our own wounds and we get to not focus on ourselves because most of us don't feel good enough. Most of us are traumatized and have all these wounds that we need to heal. But doing this work sucks. It takes a lot of honest awareness and directing the attention towards us, and that's never easy. So of course it's much easier to point our finger at other people and judge. I would love to hear your thoughts below, what you think about this subject. If you sometimes find yourself in judgmental cycles, and if you're open and willing to share, I would love to learn what are the habitual things that you usually judge in other people, because of course then it shows us what it is that we need to work on ourselves. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I would love to hear your thoughts and I will see you in the next one. Bye.